What's going on, everybody? I would like to welcome you to the No Filter Show. I apologize, it's been a minute since I've been on here harassing y'all asses, but I've been breaking down this record I'm trying to set for the most freestyles ever recorded on video improvisation. And if your ass is ever interested in checking it out, why don't you go on and stalk me at your alter ego _1 on Instagram. And then you could see a piece of history being made. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of break down just some random thoughts that have been going through my mind on this joyous Friday, this amazing Friday. You know, just random things that I watched and I observed that really struck nerves. You know, get up in the morning, stretching, yawning, ready to walk the dog, take a breath of fresh air, and it's nothing greater than hearing, "Fuck you, bitch, you ain't shit, get the fuck away from me." The fuck? No, brother. If you're gonna talk to your woman like that, why don't you pull her in the background somewhere where nobody can hear that? I'm not advocating talking to her like that, but I understand emotions can fly, and I don't know the personal situation in which triggered you to react the way you did. But to have your garage up and putting your woman on display the way you did, my brother, you ain't getting no pussy tonight. Brothers, you have to understand, the very words that you exploit your woman to in public is the same perception that you're giving other men and women. Therefore, they will disrespect her the same way you did. But then you ready to fight them for disrespecting her. And you know if life was good between the two of y'all, and you had that thought of talking to her like that in public, you would denounce that in a heartbeat. She got to be much greater than just that feeling and emotion. I don't care how upset I am with my wife. I'm not about to put her on blast for nobody else to feel like they got the green light to do it. Plus, you understand you got other snakes in the grass watching to come and infiltrate y'all's situation, because I'm pretty sure whatever it is y'all were going back and forth on is something that could be worked out behind closed doors. And social media reminds me of a circumstance like that. You will broadcast your shit all over the world, and then when somebody else comes and attacks the very same thing they witnessed you to attack and down, you know what you do? You get upset and try to defend that shit. Come on, man. You gotta understand. You gotta give me some type of response to how we fix this poison in which we have now allowed to be inflicted into our minds. This poison called instinct, where the less personal responsibility we take, the more instinctive we become, and it makes us primitive. Do you guys realize some of the things that we say and do are primitive? Now, don't get me wrong. I may say some bullshit on occasions, but look at my intent in which I'm saying it. For an example, if I say, she got a big ass, she has a big derriere, the term ass that I use is not to disrespect her. I just didn't use the word in which you would prefer me to use. But if I told a person I'm gonna beat your ass, the intent of that word is in a form of causing harm to that person. If I say motherfucker, I'm literally, my intent is of joy and of laughter. But if I say I'm gonna fuck you up, that term is meant in a different way of intent. Oh, my bad, disclaimer. Put the kids to bed, because this is going to be raw. And I ain't talking Eddie Murphy in the Michael Jackson zip-up all-leather outfit. Surprised he didn't have a fur turtleneck under that motherfucker. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. Shout out to my boy B Smooth. Everything 100 with me. The shirt, dope shirt. My shit has been all through shit. I done had this shirt for a minute. So B, we got to hook up. I got to get more of these shirts from you. Alright? But anyways, back to these random thoughts. Fellas, you place value on a particular item, and you expect people to respect that value of that item. Oh, P.S. It is a Friday, and I am over my addiction, but mama taught me never to be a quitter. So I've learned to pace myself. And being that it is the weekend, you will catch me occasionally sipping on a broke man's tea. And what that is, that is that New Amsterdam. Smooth taste for that on a budget type of person. But anyway, shout out to DeJorm as well, because y'all will see random DeJorms being posted up. And again, this is Random Thoughts. I haven't did the No Filter show in a minute. But when we talk about intent and we talk about personal responsibility, the question is, at what point do you hold yourself accountable for bullshit? I look at my age group, my peer group. I am happy to say that I'm 40. I'd rather be on the side where people say, damn, you look young for your age, than to be on the side where they say, damn, you too old to be kicking it with these young motherfuckers. Age is in the mind. Wisdom is in the soul. And the body and wisdom is connected. You cannot beat Father Time or Mother Time. Honestly, I think Time is a female, because she move when she want to move. But once we start taking personal responsibility, then conviction kicks in. When conviction kicks in, it allows us the opportunity for us to learn from our mistakes and move forward. But instead of learning from our mistakes, we take the habit of defending our mistakes and making our mistakes a conglomerate or a fad, so everyone else follows it, and now that mistake is justified. From the terms we use, the slang we use, the behavior we exhibit, a lot of us are becoming primitive. Our whole thought process is primitive, and we don't think about it until we're in a situation where we're forced in a box, whether it's physically or psychologically. A lot of us are mentally injured, and I won't say ill, but I'll say injured, because a lot of us haven't been turned over to a reprobate mind. And if you don't know what that means, look the shit up. But, you know what? Random thought again. Okay, angels came down to the earth, right? That were cast out of heaven. And when they hit the earth, some of them got it on with some of these women out here. And they birthed children. So my question, if angels are asexual, did angels develop a human form before hitting the atmosphere of earth? Or did angels possess a person and that male seed was possessed with a spirit of that fallen angel? And that tribe of people exists somewhere. Who might that tribe be? Now, I know it ain't the tribe I come from, because we the original 12 tribes of Israel, brother. We are not a part of that there. But anyways, back to the ill freestyle. When you start taking personal responsibility for your net worth, for your happiness, for your joy, for those that surround you with love, peace, and happiness, and you start actually walking according to accepting personal responsibility in your part in contributing to your downfall, then you become a better person, and everything around you begins to attract to your wisdom. Now, wisdom allows you to embrace the reality of life, getting older, and accepting that shit. The biggest deception and trick that fantasy played on reality has gotten some of y'all bobblehead motherfuckers out here thinking that you can live a dream or a fantasy with your eyes open. Fantasy done played y'all. Because all these people you see living this life that you would consider a fantasy, they work hard for that shit. 3 times as hard as where you sitting your ass at. You can't even get your ass to walk around the block. But you can get your ass in that kitchen and make them chitlins and grits. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that this fantasy that you guys are contributing to, you're literally living your alter ego. I was a victim of that when I was an infamous MC as an artist. And I literally stopped doing the game because I realized that infamous MC was a spirit or a character or an ego that was created much bigger than the human I fucking am? You mean to tell me I'm going to give something that is not really me defined as a species of human the power to control me? You got people out here that will be upset if you call them by their government name instead of their artist name, because they would rather live the fantasy of their artist name. Now, while I light this shit up, y'all let that sit and think and soak a minute. That's the sad part about it. As people's lives are so tricked into believing the deception of a fantasy that they will fool you into believing the shit you done just been to this fool's house last night and rode in his car. And you know he live in a trap house and his car look like a rat house. But he on Instagram with that Photoshop and CGI so thick you would be like, nigga, who house you at? This is the reality. And back a couple of words, I said nickel. Okay? See, I've learned to train my mind to kind of dispel things I've held on to that really don't have much of a value to me. For instance, that word, and I'll refer to it as nickel. I will have people argue me up and down about why they feel they have the right to use the word because they have turned it into something other than what it was. They treat it like Jesus, like it died on the third day. They resurrected it with a different definition. But at the same time, as somebody else said, you ready to beat their ass. So my question is, why is it so important to hold on to that word? Is it because you claim ownership to it and you feel that that ownership gives you the right to display that word? Okay, deeper question for you. Aren't there other things in life that you can aspire for to claim ownership to than that word, nickel? Some of y'all got penny syndrome. What is penny syndrome? The chips y'all got, you think you got bread, but compared to those that's controlling and holding shit, you ain't worth nothing. And while you think you running the same race, when you sit all the coins and the dollar bills together, you face the opposite direction of everybody else. Whoo! So although you thinking that you a part of the clan, they done turned their back on you and painted you a different color, psychologically. But you will come to those lower than you and show off about your position instead of advocating them, forcing further movement towards their position for them to aspire to be like you or lower. That's why I say I do this rap shit for passion. While y'all out here trying to chase dough and shit, man, I was 12. That shit stopped me from being in the streets. That stopped me from listening to my mom and dad argue. That stopped me from watching the ills of people tell me you smart as shit, but because of the color of your skin, I'm sorry, we can't let you in this program. People used to tell me that shit to my face. Someone has actually told me, you can be 100% every day and come to work 50% one day. I'm using an analogy. That's not what they said. I'm going to judge you based on that day you came in at 50% because my perception of you is reality to me. So even though I could be perceiving it wrong because I perceive it that way, that's my reality and you have to deal with that. Not embrace change, but literally shit on me because you have an opinion of me because of your view. And your view is obscure because you've never been in my shoes or in my predicament, my position, my environment, how I was raised, any of that. But if you sit me next to a table with you in executive offices, I could still compete. If you put me on a stage to be able to explain whatever it is the executives want me to do, I can do it. If we in the hood, and I have to conversate with people to get an understanding, I can do that. You can't. Because you don't understand that perspective. My favorite coined phrase that I created was called sophisticated hood because I grew up in the hardest parts of the hood, but I wanted greater than that. And what I mean by greater than that is not the hood in the sense of the people and the relationships I created, but the stereotypes and pigeonholes and predicaments that they would put me in. Stereotypes. They told me I wouldn't make it to see 18. Graduating from high school without getting shot or selling drugs was considered a bachelor's degree in the hood. But then I come over to this side and they perceive me as ghetto because I'm black. They assume I work at a minimum wage job at a fast food restaurant because I'm black. You should see the amazement on some people's faces when I tell them my profession and how long I've been doing it. I am not politics. I am morality. Righteousness is righteousness. Unrighteousness is unrighteousness. Although politics exists and politically some things seem to fit, I pray for those that don't fit the scheme of politics, because in reality, that's bullshit. Tribes would live together in peace and harmony for centuries and generations, and you never heard of a homeless old school. I'm talking thinking about a homeless tribal person, unless they were banished from the tribe for doing some stupid shit. But now you got categories and margins to create a percentage of separation between the rich and the poor. There's no such thing as middle class. How the fuck 3 billion or billions of dollars banks are able to save in taxes, but people like myself that are actually working for a living and are considered middle class owe in taxes? Shit don't make no sense. So morally, I pray for those that are caught up in politics games, and they have to actually experience the ills of life because of politics and political decisions. Personal responsibility. Back to our queens. It breaks my heart when my daughters come home. My daughter came home and told me, "Oh, this the girl at my school." She was like, "Dad, I want to be homeschooled." I was like, "Why?" I said, "What about the girl at school?" She was like, "It's not just her. It's just my school. Everybody thinks like they're grown-ups. They talk like they're grown-ups. And they don't know anything. These girls are screwing and dating." She was like, "This girl at my job wears a shirt that says virgin across it, but she's sleeping with half of the school." Quote unquote. And she comes home depressed sometimes because she feels like she doesn't fit in. If she talks with her friends or people that are in relationships and they question why she's not in a relationship, she'd be like, "Are you looking to marry this person?" Their response is, "I don't know." She was like, "So you're giving your all to somebody you're not sure about spending your life with." I'm telling y'all, man, I am training some future queens over here. And I don't want any of your sons with that bullshit over here. I would love to be able to have my daughters be in a relationship, or your sons take my daughter's hand in marriage. But I'm not going to put them in a generational curse that continues to repeat itself so they can come home to me hurt. You have to start creating kings. They got to be more than just this typical shit you see on Instagram. People be like, "Dude, you got hella freestyles. Why you don't got hella likes and comments?" Because I ain't falling a victim to the same bullshit everybody else is doing. But why would I quit? This is a journal for me. I go back and view some of those improvisational freestyles, and I'm amazed. Sometimes I'll use one of them shits for a verse on somebody's feature, or even my album. It's a way for me to go back and revisit what my subconscious did, because consciously I am not paying attention to what my subconscious is doing until after I hear it. So when I play it back, it's like I'm hearing it like you for the first time. Personal responsibility. We're all a victim of the ills in our life. And if we're going to continue to take bullshit and try to translate it into good and then justify it, and then instead of taking personal responsibility and changing, we convince everybody else is the norm so everybody else do it. You know what we're doing? We're creating a cycle that by the time I'm in my 60s, these little kids gonna be cussing your ass out. They ain't gonna give a fuck about advice. And then all y'all in y'all 20s, when y'all get my age, y'all gonna be like, "What happened to them kids?" And you know what? Y'all were some of the biggest, largest contributors to where they are right now. Because I can't tell y'all nothing. As soon as I try to encourage y'all to do something different, y'all try to shit on me. So all I do is pray for y'all. Because guess what? Times are gonna get a lot harder for y'all generation. It is. Because the more primitive you become, the more iller the survival tactics come. And the more iller the survival tactics, the more iller the environment. And the more iller the environment, the more iller the energy. Positivity is gone now. If I say something positive and I tell people I truly care about them, if it don't come with a gimmick, if it don't come with a hashtag, if it don't come with popularity, you don't want to hear it. But as soon as a celebrity say the very same thing that I was encouraging you with, my young sister or brother, you want to like it and share it and post it when that celebrity don't even know you exist. And a person such as myself who truly cares about you, I exist in your life every day and you ain't trying to hear nothing I'm saying. We have to start motivating each other. My generation, we're almost forgotten about. The generation before us, they thought we were riffraff and putting steamrollers over our CDs in the middle of the street and shit. And desecrating on our culture. So they don't want nothing to do with us. We floss so hard in our 20s and 30s, and I didn't do it personally. But I will take personal responsibility as being a part of that generation. We showed them big stacks, racks, big jewels, money, nice cars, homes, hustle way of lifestyle. Now they out here finding new hustles and new ways to do crazy shit we didn't even think of back then. The technology wasn't even about that way. And then when we try to swoop them under our wing, they be like, fuck you. I'm going to drop this tidbit and I'm going to let y'all go. Again, it's the No Filter Show. Jay-Z. Dope pioneer. Drop albums, he got hella Grammys. I don't understand why he got so many and Nas don't have one. But that's another No Filter Show conversation. And no disrespect to either artist, I think they're both dope. And I think they're both very intelligent. And I think they're great businessmen. But Jay-Z got all these Grammys. And personally, I feel some of the Grammys he got was on the strength. And what I mean by on the strength is based on the fact that because the trend was in that era, and he was dropping dope songs that fit that trend, he got Grammys, right? He dropped 444, and on 444, this dude is dropping knowledge. When he dropped the single with the video for the dude from that Sundance Film Festival movie that dropped, I forgot what it was called, but I did see it. You know what? He didn't get a Grammy. It was a lot of push for it. He didn't get a Grammy. I love y'all. And I want you to aspire to be the greatest. But what I want you guys to take away from this is take personal responsibility. And understand this. Money is made by man's hands. The stock market can crash tomorrow. And what you holding in your account don't mean nothing. Everything that you purchase, that you ride in and you wear, depreciates with time. Unless it's an old school or a classic. You got to start investing in your soul and joy and what makes you happy. Because that's what priceless is. What's the use of all the money when you can't be happy with it? You don't have the time to enjoy it. You want to live the fantasy of your favorite artist, but you don't know what kind of work they're putting in and what they go through in their everyday life. They probably do more in 3 hours than you do in 48 hours. And you aspiring for that, and you don't even know what kind of work you got cut out for you. Find the passion from within. And if the money comes, you ain't turning nothing down but your collar, right? I'm in the same boat. But by the end of the day, the greatest freestyle I ever created was my family. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have father figures of great examples that were directly connected to me that had a relationship with me. My father wasn't that. My uncles weren't around to school me on that. I looked at my friends' parents, but I didn't have that direct connection. So when I decided I wanted to be a father, I changed up everything. And I freestyled it. Improvisation. So they can take the money away from this music thing tomorrow and I will forever be a wordsmith. There's a difference between a rapper and a lyricist. I'm a lyricist that entertains. And if I use the word rapper, it's out of habit. Last thought of the day, think about how important that word nickel is to you. And think about, are you holding on to it because it's a bad habit? Or it truly has a value to you, meaning that every time you speak it, it gives you a sense of power. And if that word nickel gives you a sense of power, I challenge you to find something that gives you an even greater sense of power. I even challenge you to change your thought on that word. I make the mistake of saying that word sometimes. And I switched it up by saying boss now. God bless. Be safe out there. TGIF. Happy Friday. This is the No Filter Show, and this is your boy ckeys. Blessings on top of blessings.